Oh, hello. Hi, welcome to the Bitchuation Room podcast live. What is going on, internets and audio listeners? My name is Francesca Fiorentini. I am your host. You've seen me on the thing and the other thing, that one time. You've seen me around. You're here. That's all that matters, you guys. You're on Facebook. You're on YouTube. What's up, Jody Paletta from Ohio? Ulysses, as always. Darren Skjolvsold. I didn't butcher your name at all. That's probably your name. We've got such a good show for you today, despite the, quickly crumbling democracy that we have in the United States, just washing away like a sandcastle in the high tide, and we're there, and like the moats have been breached, and it just filling with water. And we're like, man, why do we work so hard to build this sandcastle? What are we doing? Maybe this castle's not what we want to build. Maybe we should start over. Do we got to fight to start over? Anyway, you get the idea. We're going to be talking about all that. We're going to be talking about my dream of a third, fourth, fifth party, a parliamentary system in this government. Also about the Supreme Court Justice nominee, Captain ACAB, ACB, Amy Coney Barrett. I do not want to ever learn her name for realsies, but I have to because this is where we are. As always, thank you so much for being here. And also thank you for your tips. You guys have been so incredibly generous with those tips. And remember, we donate a portion of them, one, to help the show, because that's important. And number two, to Movement Voter Project right now. We're doing that all through the election. Movement Voter Project is working in swing states, specifically with grassroots organizations of color, getting out the vote where we know Democrats have a stronghold if they would just speak to these groups of voters who they've long neglected. Movement Voter Project does that specifically in swing states. So TBR-Live, TBR Live on Cash App, TBR Live on Venmo. Give me them tips. I realize my head's just resting on it. Hello. You can tell things are dire because I've got pink eyeshadow on. It's hot pink. And no, I'm not in drag. And no, I'm not as good of a makeup artist as drag queens are. But shit is dire. You gotta go with the bright eye. We have such amazing guests before I get too far up my own butthole by myself with you all. They're my friends. They're the people I trust. I look up to. I laugh with. And I'm so happy to have them here today with me. She is a former labor organizer turned stand-up comedian, writer, and actor who is one of Variety's 10 comics to watch for 2020. She's a writer for Last Man Standing on Fox and creator of Comedy Crossing. So awesome. A hit stand-up comedy show held inside Animal Crossing, the video game, and is watched via Zoom. Of course. Since 2020, the show's raised $20,000 for Black Lives Matter related causes. In 2016, she was honored by President Obama, heard of him, as a White House champion of change for her leadership in Asian American and Pacific Islander art and storytelling. Please welcome Jenny Yang.
Yes. What's up?
Hey, Jenny.
Situation Room people. Do you have a fan name? Do we know who your fans are? Are they called something?
I used to call them ear bitches.
Ear bitches. What's up, ear bitches?
Ear bitches. But I don't know. Like, see, the bitchuation, bitch is very much a verb in this room. Do you
Right.
know it's not really a noun, although there are the occasional dudes who'll be like, hey, bitch. And you're like, no, bro, no.
Yeah, we're bitchuating.
Exactly, Jenny. I like that verb, bitchuating. We're bitchuating. So good to have you here. And in addition to Jenny Yang, the wonderful, he is best known for his Oscar-nominated, Emmy-winning writer-director, being the writer and director of, there we go, Gasland, Parts 1 and 2, all about fracking in the United States. He reported on the ground at Standing Rock during the native-led DAPL protests. As a climate activist, TV commentator, and guest, he's appeared regularly on MSNBC, Fox, CNN, The Daily Show, PBS, TYT, and many other outlets. In May 2020, once again, another virtual host, This person, he launched his show "Staying Home with." Please welcome Josh Fox.
Woo, woo,
Thank
woo.
you. I'm so happy to be here.
Josh Fox.
I'm gonna do this one because I think that's how I feel right now.
This is much more. I don't know. Is this devil or is this devil? This is like badass.
Satan. That's what it stands for. If anyone tells me it's like rock and roll, dude, they're just lying. Because what this stands for is Satan, and that's what it stands for. Sorry.
And that's how you mean it? And that's how you mean it? Is this like a Supreme Court justice? By the way, Josh Fox is doing the sort of devil horn, pinky, and
right.
pointer.
If you weren't noticing, because everyone else is the peace signs. I'm into the peace signs. I'm into it. But these days, I'm more into the Satan sign. That's just what's happening right now.
Cool.
It's coming from my youth. Anyway.
Give him 5 months. He's going to be doing like Bloods and Crips. It'll just be, depending on if Trump gets reelected, there'll be gang signs. There'll be gang signs.
We're not even going to even speculate as to whether or not that's going to occur.
We're all in the gang. We're all in the gang right now. We're all Antifa, remember?
Yes, we are all Antifa. That is very true.
I'm habituating to this scenario currently.
Great.
I feel very habituated to it.
Habituate away, get bituated, everybody. We're going to launch into this. Our first segment, as always, here on the Bituation Room is, what are you bitching about now?
I love this triumphantly angry piano person that's like playing the piano with it.
So triumphant.
At the beginning of the angry and triumphant sort of.
I feel like it's the spirit of RBG.
I'm not being
beyond the grave, like da da da.
Yeah.
I'm going to start off, you two, about what I'm bitching about, which I think a lot of people in the comments are bitching about, which is news that broke today that Donald Trump has paid not just nothing in taxes, but has gotten millions of dollars in tax breaks over the last couple of decades. The New York Times just released a report. Y'all, he paid $750 in the year 2016, the year that he assumed off, or the year that he won the presidency. $750 fucking dollars.
How?
$750 in 10 years. No, wait.
In 1 year.
Since 2000.
In 1 year.
No. Since 2005. He paid $750 in 2016 and nothing in the 10 years before that.
Right.
Zero. Big donut. Burn
it all down. Fuck everyone. Y'all, 700, like, who pays $750 in taxes? Like, you know, fast food employees, like, do not make, you make minimum wage. You don't pay that little. You do not pay that little at all. Like, I paid so much more than that. And like, I did my taxes very late and I was like, oh boy, I made very little last year. And really, like, really still that much? I mean, I know it's all going to schools and not like bombs or drones, of course. But
it's going to repave the street in front of Trump Plaza, apparently.
Oh God, y'all! $750 is a Starbucks habit. It's a weekly. It's one Starbucks Frappuccino, every week. That's it. That's $750.
That's it. It's staggering, this news, and it really, to me, I'm like, I want to just read a little bit of it because this is not one of our news items, but apparently not only that, but shit that we know has been going on. And like, I know a lot of people are like, we knew it. Did we though? Did we? Like, you know, your parents have sex
on a Sunday, right? They put this on Sunday. And I think the reason why is so that the rest of the world just goes, they have all of Sunday just to be like, what? And then when they pick their jaw up off the floor for Monday morning to just really thoroughly analyze this total catastrophe. But you know what I mean? It's like a day's worth of shock value.
No, that's what I'm saying though. Like, I feel like
today, except looking at this.
Yeah, we need to process this.
Yeah, and people pretend like though they've known this whole time. Oh yeah, it's this bad. But like I'm saying, you know your parents have sex, and you're like, yeah, I'm sure it's gross. I'm sure I wouldn't want to see it. And then you actually see it if you like, nothing prepares you. You know what I mean? You can't be like, I knew it was bad. No, this is bad. Don't be above this bullshit. 750. Look, if it were $5,000, I'd be like, that's shit. It's under 1,000. You guys.
It's comical. That's the thing. I think about the average American and how much they stress out about paying their taxes every year. Oh my God. Just think about that.
$750. Not even like $750 and 46 cents. You know what I mean? Like one accountant was like, "Oh yeah, Donald.
That's fine.
Donald. Okay, it's we did it. We took a look at everything and we added up all the expenses and we made sure that all the ice skating lessons and the extra things that you wrote off in talent and all that shit, you know. And it's $750." And Donald's like, "Okay."
Well, the best thing about this is, though, I think there are people who are like, well, yeah, that's what the rich do. Like, they have like great accountants. No, nuh-uh. Not that, like Josh is saying, not the best accountant can get you to 750. We're talking cooking the books, underreporting. This is fraud.
That's all he paid in 10 years.
Right. Exactly. It's crooked. It's and you know, and it makes sense that, look, Michael Cohen, however, credible of a person he is or not, but his whole thing with Russia was like, don't focus on like whether or not he used Russian bots to like win the election or whatnot, or get info from Paul Manafort. You got to focus on like the money. Russia was always his fault for being dead ass broke. He was like, Russia was gonna get him out of this. Like, let's invest, like Trump Tower in Moscow. That's never even been built, but it's gonna be.
Well, that's what's really even more crazy about it is he owes the government $100 million. Meanwhile, he's been charging the government for every single thing. Like, all of the diplomats are staying at his hotel. We're being charged for him playing golf, like $7 million a putt or something like this, like crazy stuff. And this is
what a putt.
This is the situation. Trump has got to make every single person in the country angry. But you know what's so crazy about this? It's not going to make the dirt poor farmers that surround me here in these hills of northeastern Pennsylvania with their giant Trump signs in their front yards. Can we curse on this show?
Of course.
Okay, I didn't remember. I don't know.
Heartily encouraged.
You can't curse on my show. Like, there are signs. I don't know if people in urban America understand this, but in rural America, everywhere, there are giant banners that say Donald Trump, no more bullshit underneath them. They're official Trump. Have you seen these? Trump 2020 signs that say, make liberals cry again.
Yeah.
Official ones. But there's a huge one I rode by today, and I was riding my bicycle on a back road. It was a giant guy with a beard down to here. By the way, anyone with a beard down to here, do not trust that person at all. Ever.
How long?
What are they hiding in the beard? That's the question.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's got a leaf blower, and he's blowing like one leaf around his yard like this. And he's got a gas-powered leaf blower. Of course, that is the best way to accelerate climate change, with one of those giant strap-on, like blowy things, right? Like, those are the most. I could spend an hour just bitching about those things.
Leaf blowers.
And he's got a big sign on the front sign that says, "No more bullshit." And I was like, this entire situation. But that guy is not going to get mad at Donald Trump for this. That poor man with a leaf blower, and all of these poor farmers around here who are are not going to get mad at Donald Trump about this.
It's I still think we have to keep talking about it, but yeah, you're right. Because there's some excuse, it's fake news, they fabricated it. Right. The New York Times, like the New York Slimes, like, who's that?
Right. So they'll just reframe it. They'll just reframe it and say, he's just a good businessman, and good business people don't pay that many taxes.
And this is the thing, Jenny, it's like, even if, let's say all of this is legal, let's imagine this is all above board. I just said it wasn't, but what if it is? How the fuck is that at all fair? Or shouldn't it be illegal? What kind of system do we live in? Wealth is the biggest fucking grift, all right? It's such a grift. It's the grift that keeps on grifting. It just, grift upon grift upon grift. And so, yeah, even if, like, you should be incensed either way. It's the same thing around, like, BLM when it's like, well, white people get shot more often by cops. It's like, and that's bad too. Like, can't you hold both of those things in your mind? The police shouldn't do that. You shouldn't be able to get away with this. Anyway, guys, this could be our entire group.
We can't. We have to keep moving on.
But we're moving it along.
But I'm wondering what you guys are bitching. What are you bitching about? Josh, you bitching about leaf blowers?
No, I think Jenny should go first.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. Listen, because we're going to make a hard right turn because I'm bitching about the fact that there are too many Skarsgårds and Hemsworths in the world. Okay, I don't think you understand this, but did you know? Did you know that there is a Bill Skarsgård? Well, who the fuck is a Bill Skarsgård?
I don't know.
Out of nowhere, and someone tweeted back at me. He played Pennywise. There's too many to keep track, Josh. Okay, this is what I want. I want a battle royale death match, and I want all the Skarsgårds and Hemsworths battling it out. Okay, we need to winnow it down. Okay, I can't keep track.
How many Hemsworths are there? 2, 3?
There's a lot.
Isn't Skarsgård what you put to start your underwear? I think you put that into a bong to make a special hit that Ween used to eat.
When you said Skarsgård, I was like mouth guard, like it's a night guard. Too many scars.
That's what I'm saying, guys. It's too confusing. We need to winnow it down.
You're
proving my point. That's what I'm bitching about. Next, Josh, go. I'm done.
Well, I'm going to stay on brand here. And here's what I'm going to say. So I go out on Twitter all the time, as you know, and I start to push. I'm trying. This is a completely Sisyphean, futile exercise to try to be positive on Twitter. I try to be positive, and I'm like my followers, but I'm trying to be positive, and so I'm trying to accentuate the positive. As you all know, I'm a Bernie supporter, going to push Joe Biden as much as I can, and I'm upset because when I told the DNC that I would vote for a piece of toast over Donald Trump, I didn't think they would take me literally. But we have a piece of toast. And the thing that's good about this piece of toast is that he collaborated with Bernie Sanders, the Sunrise Movement, and AOC to create a $2 trillion climate plan.
Yes.
And it says the Green New Deal as the framework for this $2 trillion climate plan on his website. And I go out there on Twitter, I'm like, $2 trillion climate plan, $2 trillion climate plan, $2 trillion climate plan. And then it's like, everyone, it's like 300 attacks. And clearly, these are sponsored. I think, there's a whole lot of people that could be sponsoring those tweets, whether that's the Russian petrostate or the oil and gas industry or Chevron or Exxon or the Green Party or whoever. Doesn't matter to me.
Ooh, shots fired.
But no, because that's what happens. Because then they say, Josh, you're a sellout. Oh, Josh, you I thought you cared about fracking. Like, I told you how to spell fracking. Like, you wouldn't say the word fracking if you wouldn't know, if not for me. And they're like, oh, well, about fracking, but Joe Biden won't ban fracking. I'm like, $2 trillion, not a $750 plan paid for by Donald Trump's taxes. A $2 trillion climate plan is amazing.
Yeah. And it's not like carbon.
Where is the Biden campaign saying? This is what I'm bitching about. Why isn't Biden's campaign running on this? Why aren't people screaming about this in the street, running up and down the street, going, oh my God, $2 trillion climate plan? This is a big deal.
Yeah. So, yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great bitch. I mean, it's a good bitchuating. I don't know.
It's a good bitchuation.
It's a good bitchuation. It's only my show. I have no idea what the verbs are.
You could say, but yeah.
Josh, we're going to get into that. This is why I like you, both of you. But I really appreciate that you continue to say what you say, even if you lose followers or people are mad at you. Same. Like, it's the same thing. And it's why I trust you to be on the show.
But I think, Francesca, there's a thing where the followers just get padded. Like, I watch who starts following, and I'm like, oh, I hate myself, who has no picture as has an emoji as a picture, is following me. And I'm like, this person has no followers. And I'm looking like there's 300 of those people who just signed up today for me. And I'm like, I know what this is. The moment I say something that they doesn't like, they drop all those followers. So I get worried.
Okay.
Oh no, I shouldn't have said that.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's part of the thing, right? The part of the thing is they punish you for the things that they, meaning the fossil fuel industry, the Russians, or whoever it is. Like, there's no way to know. Mark Zuckerberg's Ukrainian fan club, whatever it is, they're just like, oh, he said something good about Joe Biden, so cut 100 followers.
Look, if you have any kind of nuance or strategy on the internet, you will be shunned. It is not shrill. Internet trolls on Instagram just learned the word lib, that lib was bad. So I'm getting a bunch of like, oh, you're a lib, huh? And it's like, what? There's nothing, like, you're a lib. They're like the word got out, like in Macedonia, it was like, lib is a negative thing. Like, say lib. And
I feel so bad for those people just chained to a wall somewhere with really bad English, like with talking points on all of them.
They're gonna get a watch, dude. They're gonna get an Apple Watch in a few months. They're gonna get a car. They're gonna make a payment on the home. Like, that's not a bad life. But I mean, it's destroying our democracy. But anywho, moving on, guys. This has been great. We got to move on to our next segment. Running down the week's news. There's only 3 things that happen in my universe. The top 3 stories of the Bitchuation Room. This is the week where.
I'm sorry, I'm playing along.
Thank you so much. I needed that. I feel like it was missing a harmonica.
It only has 2 notes.
Well,
this is the best I can do.
That's an amazing talent. My dad used to do that.
For those of you listening in the future and are just for my ear bitches, Jenny clapped her hands in front of her mouth and sang, what's that song? Is it Yankee Doodle?
Mary Had a Little Lamb. Get it together, Fran.
It's been a while since I sang Mary Had a Little Lamb, but I feel like, after my lobotomy, when November comes and Trump is reelected, dude, I'm singing Mary Had a Little Lamb every single day, and it's going to be good. I'm going to eat applesauce. Okay, this was the week where our bitch-ass president, Donald Trump, refused to commit to a peaceful transfer of power if he loses election in November.
Right.
But look, let's not freak out. Trump has refused to commit to a lot of things, like a healthcare plan or his wife. With his anti-democratic demagoguery, suddenly Americans are wondering 2 questions. 1, wait, are we the banana republic now? And if so, 2, can Denmark please coup us and install a democratic socialist regime with paid sick leave and free healthcare?
Where are those Danes?
I just want them to run it. Are they the Vikings or the Nords? Just want them to come in on one of the big ships and just like
the great ships.
Just coup us with a big ship is all I'm saying.
Preferably with Greta Thunberg on it.
Please. Oh my God.
I want to see her on the front with a big rapier.
Just to battle at
swashbuckling, eye-patched, skull and crossbones laden Greta Thunberg.
First of all, Greta Thunberg, people are like, I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, maybe one day she's gonna sell out or she's gonna be more mainstream. But I think she's gonna become more of a pirate. She's just gonna move more and more.
Going in that
the right is pro-life, but they won't want to protect the fetus that is Greta Thunberg.
I'm on that ride right now. I'm there. I'm still there. I'm ready.
We'll talk more about the potential non-handoff of democracy after this segment. I am curious about both of your thoughts, but I'm going to move on. This was also the week where, a week after RBG died and when she was barely in the ground, Trump nominated her conservative counterpart to the Supreme Court, Judge Amy Coney Barrett, a name I've been trying to not learn. I prefer names like Back Alley Abortion Barbie, Under His Eileen, or my personal favorite, Sharia Sharon. Sharia Sharon. It is Sharia.
How about Conehead Barrett?
Ooh, I like that.
He's one of the Coneheads.
Conehead, yeah. Very much from another planet. When it comes to where she stands politically, just to give you a sense, she's been referred to as the female Antonin Scalia, which has really taken the heat off of Sarah Huckabee Sanders. A bit more about her. In a 2006 commencement speech she gave at Notre Dame Law School, she encouraged the graduating class to, quote, keep in mind that your legal career is but a means to an end, and that end is building the kingdom of God.
Mm. Okay.
In the womb of every woman.
Open the kingdom.
Oh,
she's going to build an ark with laws. She's going to build an ark with laws. That's what's happening.
Dude, just go sail away. Build the ark. Take two of every conservative.
The four horsemen of the apocalypse at this point. I'm sorry. I know how that book ends. I've read it. It happens.
Is that like the Dante one? Is that the where it's hot, like hot?
The Bible.
Oh, it's the Bible.
You know, that's what happens at the end of the Bible. You know, like wait, not any good people left on earth, and everything goes into fire and pestilence. And
question.
Yes.
In the Bible, really, there's a four horsemen of the apocalypse. That's the end of it.
Oh yeah.
That's where the four horsemen are from.
Four horsemen.
The fucking Bible.
Yeah.
You guys, this book is trash. This book is trash.
My climate film, there's the Michael Mann, the climate scientist, one of the most famous climate scientists in the world, talks about how climate change brings the four horsemen of the apocalypse, and he starts to talk about the four horsemen. He says, well, there's pestilence, and then there's death, and he gets lost. He can't remember all the four horsemen, but it's clearly like Sarah, Amy, Coney, Barry, Conetti, Trumpy lady is one of them. We just call her Trumpy lady.
Trumpy lady, yeah. I want to say also that last thing about her, she's part of a religious group called People of Praise, which considers themselves, quote, charismatic Catholics, which is kind of like saying carnivorous vegan or healthy online debate. You know, it just doesn't work. Charismatic Catholics.
Unfunny Jew.
Wow. What I think, charismatic Catholics to me sounds very much like what you're saying about the four horsemen of the apocalypse. It's like, not only do they believe in fire and brimstone, they're going to light the fire. Like they will be the ones doing it. It's fucking scary. Jenny, what are your thoughts on this nomination? Have you just been noping out of this story, or because I've been trying to?
Yeah, I've just been leaving everyone else to do the analysis and the criticism because I already know I hate her. You know what I mean? It's like, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? And it's true. You made reference to this earlier. The only thing that was interesting about her is her acronym is ACB, just one letter away from ACAB. And so that's the only thing interesting about her to me is her acronym could be all cops are bastards. Think about it. It's great. That's the only redeeming thing about her.
It is, and I've come up with AACBAB. All Amy Coney bastards are bastards. I don't know. I don't really know what her last name is.
Is it Barrett? Is it Barnett? I don't want to learn it as well.
I don't want to learn it. It's Barley. Tell us what her last name is in the comments if you are, wrong answers only, please. Oh, God. Finally, speaking of sellouts, this was the week where Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron and a grand jury did not charge any of the three officers who killed Breonna Taylor with her death. They did, however, indict one officer of the three for wanton endangerment because he fired bullets into the apartment next to Taylor's during the March 13th no-knock raid. Basically, he was indicted for shooting at walls of the wrong innocent person.
He was indicted for every shot that missed Breonna Taylor.
He was indicted for every shot that missed Breonna fucking Taylor. Like, don't you guys, like, I didn't think there was going to be indictments of these police officers, but like this indictment just feels like they're trolling us.
Yeah, it's
like,
a fuck you.
It's a fuck you.
But if you think about it, wanton endangerment, as it doesn't even sound severe. Like to me, it sounds like how you would describe like light BDSM in a romance novel. Wanton endangerment. Let me put my hard shaft upon your softness. You know what I mean? Like this is
Heart shafts
I
upon
want to
yourself.
say something as a response to the tyranny that's emanating from the state of Kentucky. And it's really hard to do this, but to suggest this. But one thing we could do nationwide is simply boycott bourbon entirely. It would be hard.
That's tough, man.
It'd be rough.
Josh, I don't know. I
It'd
don't
be
know.
rough.
If we circulate that petition, see how much you get.
We could try to move in the direction of gin, for example, or even rye. There's perfectly good rye made outside of Kentucky. Rye is great.
Where are those from again?
Like where's that's why it's what's called bourbon.
Right. And where's rye from?
Could be anywhere.
Okay.
It could come from anywhere. You can get rye from all over the place.
Or what about just Japanese whiskey from now on?
Japanese
Yeah,
whiskey,
fuck bourbon.
good.
Fuck
Scotch,
bourbon.
Scotch, even American Scotch. But one thing is
I don't like Scotch, dude.
why is Kentucky currently destroying our nation in the form of Mitch McConnell and the people who are? Why that? I feel bad for. I know there's probably some cool cafes in Louisville or whatever.
Yeah, Louisville's
I'm
trying.
sure there's great people in. My editor was from Louisville. There's there's terrific theater from Louisville, but like, what is? It's like I'm at a complete loss for words when the ignorant rural population of this country is completely dominating the people in this country who have brains, who are capable of critical thinking, who are capable of understanding justice, who are capable of understanding that like racism is bad, Yeah. And so this gives me a chill to my bones right now, and I'm very, very, very worried about the state of America, even beyond if Donald Trump were to lose, right? If he were to lose and then be forcibly removed by the military or whoever, what worries me is that this traumatic, emotional response to him amongst all of these people who have the Trump signs, the
guns,
of people who are authoritarians, right? Who own like 90% of the guns in the country. That they are so ginned up for some type of violence that it's going to be something we have to deal with and live down, and will kill people for decades to come, no matter what happens. And this is what really, I'm sorry, I'm bringing us down. But it just seems clear that the police are completely out of control. Completely out of control in every possible way. That they're getting all these did you see these blaster shields that they're developing that like electrocute?
Oh God, yeah. No, I mean, with the here's the thing that's striking to me about police violence when it comes to protesting police violence is like, do you realize how many people you're politicizing right now? Like, do you realize how many young people are going to their first protest ever, and it's like a BLM demonstration, and they're like, well, I just wanted to peacefully, hold this sign and tear gas. And suddenly they can't breathe and they're choking and they're running away from their lives, or they're being chased down like, people were in Portland the other night and have been for months now. And in
over people's heads.
Do you know how politicizing that is? Like, I feel like, the three of us, we've done organizing and activism. We've been in the streets. The moment where you were like, oh shit, the state hates me. The state will not protect me. Like this speech, because I am, talking about a war or police violence, or because I'm Black or brown or Asian, like that is like the state is not going to protect my free speech. And like that moment is so politicizing. So I am disgusted, but I'm also like thinking about all the people who've been on the streets, who've been politicized. And I kind of want to like, hold them in my heart, and thinking a lot about like, I know these are going to be the future change makers in this country. You do not rub out that experience from your life. So fucking look out, man, because we're coming for your seats in Congress, in state legislatures. I don't know. I do have hope. And I will just say, thank you. Someone on YouTube, let me find this, had a great response. The Truth 908 had a response to your Kentucky question, which comment, Josh, which was Kentucky destroying our country. Florida's like, hold my beer.
Yeah, right. No, yeah. I know. Well, I mean, I used to think it was Ohio and Florida. I don't know if anyone has lived or in Ohio or in Florida. I have lived in Ohio and in Florida, and I was dying to leave those places. I mean, the problem with this country right now is that we have a system that favors the rural, racist, ignorant people in this country right now. And like one vote in Wyoming is worth like 5 in California.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just simply not fair. And that has to change because that's what's called tyranny. And, anyway, I don't want to go down this road. What I do know, though, is that we overwhelmingly in America support other types of ideas than the ideas of Donald Trump and Mitch McConnell. That's one thing that we can take comfort in, and that this situation is truly tyrannical, right? It's a situation where the pendulum has swung so far away from where normal mainstream people want to be that it's a pain that we all feel. We all feel that pain. We have to change. We have to figure out how to turn that pain into something really positive because everyone is miserable. And then COVID makes you 10 million times more miserable because you're terrified
so
to
much more
go outside. Anyway.
But don't you think COVID is like a timing? I do agree that it is a little bit of a timeout. Like,
it's been amazing.
We should be sitting at home stewing in our own toxic bullshit. I feel like there is a little bit of a we kind of deserve this moment of reflection and kind of rethinking hey, what if this country stops being a democracy? What do we do? How does our life change? I'm well, maybe I gotta, actually start the Horchata Armada, which is a satirical organization from Newsbroke. Maybe I should really start that organization and go underground and shit, and train. But
I don't think this country is a democracy. In fact, Princeton University in 2014 did a study apropos of nothing, asking what form of government does America actually have? And they went out and looked at all these policy questions, and they looked at all these public opinions, and they saw, when 70% of people want basic gun control, and 80% of people want action on climate change, and 90% of people want to raise the minimum wage, and 90% of people want Medicare for all, or 87% of Democrat, whatever it was. And then they looked at all those things, and they showed how people voted on those issues. And then they looked at who represented them in Congress and found, lo and behold, that their congressional representatives and the president did not represent those actual issues heartfelt by Americans, but they represented the opinions of the oligarchs. So Princeton University came back and said, look, America is actually an oligarchy. Of course, Princeton was proud of that fact because most of those oligarchs went to Princeton. Some of them, of course, went to Harvard. And, so they were there was a little bit of an oligarchic turf war after this report saying, no, it's our country, no, it's our country. But
I love when the oligarchs get mad at each other.
We don't, like Bloomberg getting mad at Trump. It's just but the point is that we don't live in a democracy right now, and we have to try to achieve democracy. And so much of what's happening in the streets right now is so incredibly amazing to watch. This perpetual summer of protest, which doesn't give you COVID. Protesting outside doesn't give you COVID. That's kind of amazingly awesome, right?
Yeah.
So we didn't have to cede that territory to the nut jobbers who went to people's, showed up at the state capitol with an AR-15 screaming in police's face. We actually are. This is the moment where no one has stopped protesting, and I think there is something. You're totally right. That is changing us. That is going to change this nation. But hopefully that doesn't mean that everything just goes down the tubes when we have this authoritarian state and a population that's getting.
I mean, the thing that I've been thinking about mostly, Josh, and I want to talk to you, and also, get Jenny your thoughts on, what do we make of the Democrats right now? I mean, I'm feeling. Look, I'm always. I've had faith in the Democrats. Because there is no other option for a while. I'm they're generally, I don't believe they're paid to lose. But here's the thing that I think about both Republicans and Democrats overall, and I've been thinking about this a lot. I think that no matter what happens in November, one of the two parties is going to die. I think it will die. This is the end of the Republican Party if they lose the White House, I believe. And I definitely believe it is absolutely the end of the Democratic Party if Biden loses this. And if he wins and turns his back on some of the very organizations that once supported Bernie and now have supported Biden and have worked with him on this platform, if he turns his back on some of his promises, like that $2 trillion climate budget, you're going to see the dissolution of the Democratic Party. And you're going to see the emergence of perhaps a third party or a fourth party or whatever. So to be honest with you, I think either way, the Democratic Party is going down the tubes, because I think so many of the Republicans who are not MAGA and are never Trumpers, or whatever the hell that even means, have moved like sort of rats fleeing a sinking ship, to the Democratic Party. And stupidly, the Democratic Party has welcomed them in and sort of trotted them out to appeal to this elusive moderate voter, right? And I just, there's like a great tweet today from Judd Legume. He was writing, he basically put down a couple of stats here. He said, there's been a lot of emphasis by Biden and outside groups on courting disaffected Republicans. There was an entire day of the DNC devoted to it, but there's no evidence that the appeal is working. Right. So only 6% of Republican voters are going to vote for Biden. And he says that's similar to the 4% of Democrats who support Trump, and less than the 8% of Republicans who supported Clinton in 2015, according to exit polls. Like, it goes on, but it's like, I see that.
They're also a corporate party. But I want to hear what Jenny has to say. I'm talking too much. I'm sorry.
No, yeah. Jenny, weigh in. How do you feel about this piece of toast that has now made it all the way? We're looking down the first debate in 2 days is going to happen with Trump. Yeah. I'm like, are we going to be bringing like a wet noodle to a knife fight? Like, what's going to happen?
Sounds like a delicious dish, by the way. But you know what? I think this is. I have low expectations for the Trump Biden debate. I feel like all I want is to do no harm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's like Biden could just do no harm. It's like it'll be like doddering grandpa watch. You know what I'm saying? It'll be like everyone's just going to be looking out to see who's going to have a slip up so they can like replay that on loop on some kind of weird hit piece. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Between now and November. And so that's unfortunately where we are in our oligarchy / democracy. And so it's very low expectations. Everyone has fled the two-party system. They don't know where to turn. At this point, we are just trying to be like, get this fucker out of office. It's we're at the breaking point. So I'm hoping that breaking point is enough, contrary to a visionary leadership, to motivate people, you know what I'm saying? So that we can do no harm. I think that's do no harm is a very regressive vision, but I think it motivates me enough to be like, you better fucking vote for Biden.
Yeah. I think that's right.
Remind everybody though that I listened to the last Bernie Biden debate in March, which was the last time there was Bernie versus Biden. There was only one debate where it was just the two of them. And I was driving from New Orleans to Pennsylvania to sort of hide out in the woods for COVID. And I was listening to it on the radio. And I'm sorry, but Biden kicked his ass.
Yep.
Biden kicked Bernie's ass.
Yeah.
Bernie was not convincing. I love Bernie. But there's a part of politics which is charm and charisma. And people want to have a beer with Joe Biden.
They do.
As long as he kind of stays in that lane, I think it's going to be all right. I worry, though, because I watched the Hillary Trump debates.
Awful.
One of them here, and I watched one of them in Iceland, and I watched one of them in Amsterdam. And
Same.
I was touring, and it was on in Iceland 1 o'clock in the morning, and I was I was watching with a whole room full of rock stars, and everyone was either Icelandic or on drugs. And so it was one of the most surreal experiences of all time, because everyone was trying to figure out who to pay attention to, the rock stars that were on drugs or the debate, and talking in Icelandic. And that was the confusion of that moment, I think, for everyone, because nobody knew. Everyone was like, Hillary just said what? And Trump just threatened to rape her? What is going on? It was so odd. So if Biden just stays, like I think what Jenny was saying, do no harm, but also stay in that, come on, buddy. You want to go out and have a beer in Scranton with me?
I think here's the thing that I think Biden needs, though, is he needs, because look, the Bernie debate was insane. I don't know where he found the chutzpah. I don't know where he found that. I don't know what kind of it was very Popeye drinks, takes that the spinach and pow. What bothers me is if he doesn't bring that the same to Trump, then that means he's better at punching left than he is at punching right. And fuck you, right?
And we know. The matter is, though, don't forget, most of the clips that we see of Biden, where he's stuttering, or he's stammering, or he got the wrong word, are coming through social media, right? Mark
Sure.
Zuckerberg and Peter Thiel, the Facebook board member, have had 2 private dinners with Donald Trump, right? Peter Thiel was on the Re-elect Donald Trump committee. Facebook and all social media wants to portray Joe Biden as a doddering idiot. And what was amazing about the debate was you looked at it and you were like, oh, wait a minute. He's not a doddering idiot. He's actually totally coherent and he's fine. So maybe what I've been seeing, the portrayal of him I've been seeing on those 20-second clips is all the stuff that Facebook wants you to see and nothing more, right?
Right.
So that's what bothers me about, that's what could be, well, that's what I'm praying for.
I think the other thing he needs, and Jenny, maybe we can I do think there should be a comedic effort to try to give him some of this. Biden needs zingers. He needs needs
to zing. You're right, because Trump, even though he's a little, he does try to zing. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, Trump is Trump is a racist, sexist, open mic comic who's had too much to drink, who gets up on stage and is just like, I'm not going to be held accountable for any of this. Isn't it funny? Blah, right? And there's a couple people who laugh, but they're not laughing at the joke. They're laughing at the audacity of someone to say that out loud.
They love that. They love that.
Right. And
sorry.
He doesn't care what people think.
It's the shock value. So Biden is not going to have that. He's not going to have shock value, but he's going to have to. And I hate to bring her up, but Kloby had some zings, dude. Kloby could zing. And there was a few one-liners. Kamala can also have the one-liner zings. Like, people don't want to see a food fight. They want to know how we're going to put food on the table.
Boom, boom. Listen.
Exactly. And it's so corny. But you got to have a couple of those in your up your sleeve.
You have to.
You know what was interesting about the Biden-Bernie debate is that Biden was kind of a dick. He was like a little bit of a dick.
Oh, such a dick.
He kind of had that sort of little bit of a dickish quality that Obama channeled so well when he was like to Hillary, he's like, well, you're likable enough.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, Obama, you're just kind of totally a dick just then. You were
that's a good point, actually. I never kind of thought about it that way.
That kind of like ability to be like a bit of an asshole.
Yeah.
And I think that's maybe a secret weapon in this time. I don't know. Let's see.
I want to pivot a little bit to the disaffected left, which I know there are a lot of my followers and a lot of your followers. Being on the left means being disaffected. But I think something that I really appreciate about you, Josh, is that there isn't a fully letting go of hope, and there isn't a full concession to cynicism, because we know what cynicism does, and we understand that if this man gets another 4 years, who's going to be most impacted, right? It's probably not going to be the podcasters. So, but anyway, I want to specifically ask you about one disaffected, statement that a lot of lefties, posture, which is, I'm going to vote green. Fuck it, deuces. I'm voting green because I'm voting my values. Now, I've said on this podcast that the Green Party is a little bit like the man in the white van with an ice cream cone. It's like, hell yeah, I like ice cream. But who are you? And where are you going? And why are you looking at me weird? And I don't
in the van.
What's in the van?
What's in the van?
Exactly. But he's like, but don't you like ice cream? Like, yeah, I love ice cream. I do like, not taking money from the fossil fuel industry, et cetera, et cetera. But you've had a lot of good criticisms of a Green Party. Now, what are those? And then what are your hopes for maybe one day having a third party?
Well, the Green Party to me is problematic, not because of their positions, because their positions are by and large things that I agree with. They're problematic to me because of their strategy. They emerge every 4 years, and then they say that they want to get 5% on the presidential ballot, and that's their goal. Right. And I spoke with Gloria Materis, who was one of the head campaigners or the campaign manager for the Green Party, Jill Stein, last year in 2016. And I said to her, look, what if your 5% gets Donald Trump elected? And she said, well, we think we can get our 5% and have Hillary still get elected. And I said, well, why don't you go out there and say that to the public then? Because what they're saying to the public is these candidates are the same. Right?
Yes. That's
what they go out and say. So they say these candidates are the same. Donald Trump and Joe Biden are both Republicans. They're the same. And then they say Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump are the same. And they say George Bush and Al Gore are the same. And this is the thing that they say every year. They say we want 5%. Well, listen, that's a lie. So when people lie to me, they're not my values.
Yeah.
So they're not
They don't deserve our respect.
Exactly. So the first off is to say, well, I'm voting my conscience. Well, then your conscience is a party who perpetually campaigns on a very big, gigantic, enormous lie, which is to say that Republicans and Democrats are the same. They're not the same. Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Amy Coney Barrett are not the same. George Bush, Iraq War, George Bush fracking, George Bush Dick Cheney, George Bush 9/11 is not the same as Al Gore, climate change president. Not the same. Different. Very different. So when you're saying that to you're insulting my intelligence. And when you insult my intelligence, I get mad. So when I get mad at the Green Party, they get mad back at me. But the other part of this that I want to underline here, which is not the negative part, it's the positive part. The positive part is that I live in the Delaware River Basin in Pennsylvania. This is the watershed for 16 million people. It's 5% of Americans get their water from right here, from New York City, southern New Jersey, and Philadelphia. Okay, this region was about to get fracked. 25,000 gas wells. That's what my movie Gasland starts with. It was that, right? In 2011, we were coming down to the 11th hour. We had five people we needed who were going to vote to whether to frack this basin or not, right? Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, and a representative of the federal government, okay? New Jersey and PA were Corbett and Christie, Republican monster twins who wanted to frack the hell out of this place. New York said no. We had 2 votes out. Delaware and the federal government. So what did Bill McKibben and myself do? We appealed to Joe Biden. Joe Biden was the vice president. Nobody ever asks the vice president for anything.
Yeah.
Why would you? Well, we got 10,000 calls into Biden's office. And lo and behold, he picked up the phone. He called the governor of Delaware. I have this on good information. He probably would not take credit for this because or whatever. But he called the governor of Delaware. The governor of Delaware said we're voting no. And boom, the entire vote was canceled. The Delaware River
Amazing.
Commission. We banned fracking in this place. And that has directly to do with Joe Biden. Where I live was protected by Joe Biden. 25,000 gas wells canceled. And then the next year, 2 years later, 3 years later, New York State bans fracking. Okay.
Amazing.
And that is my values because we can move this guy. When we push him, we can move him. He's the one who blurted out gays should be able to get married. He said and the whole country
before it was time.
Oh my God.
Whoopsie.
So when you're telling me, first of all, to my face, that you think Joe Biden and Donald Trump are the same, or you think Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump are the same, or Al Gore and George Bush are the same, or whatever, I say you're lying. Or you're brainwashed, or something is wrong with you. Something is weird about you. Like, what are you trying to achieve here?
Josh, one thing you said, I just want to mention, because you got a great live on this on the old Facebook, but when you were going off on the Jill Stein campaign, which honestly, you feel like you're taking crazy pills when you talk about the Green Party, because it's like, you get purity shamed by the left, but then you're like, wait a minute, but why don't, but strategy, but like no one gets, the purity folks don't get strategy shamed. And so I remember you were like, look, Jill Stein, is campaign. She's got like 5 campaign events. This was, I don't know what point during the 2016 election. And you were like, and like 4 of them are in Massachusetts.
Right.
Like, what are you doing right now?
And the other
like,
one was in Texas. The Green Party convention was in Texas. That's what I said to her campaign manager. I said, what are you guys doing? You running for president? They said, yeah. I said, well, why do you have 3 campaign events on your event before it's like October? And they were like, well, we're running for president. I was like, no, you're not. What are you doing? You know what I mean? So like anyway, that's the end of that. And I'm going to get reamed for it again by some Green Party angry person. But like, the truth is that I'm not shaming Green Party voters, right? I'm shaming the Green Party.
Yeah.
Their leadership is corrupt. The voters who are saying, well, I can't participate in Joe Biden, this. Here's what I have to say to you guys. Have faith in yourself. Have faith in us. When you say, all the ideals that I believe in are not on the ballot. Well, no, they're in your hands. And the best chance we have to get them is organizing with a Joe Biden in the White House. If we have Trump in the White House, we can't organize. We're beaten up in the streets with police in little unmarked vans. We have faith in yourself. I'm not shaming you. Shame on the Green Party. Shame on the leadership of the Green Party for lying to people for 20 years and having changed their strategy for losing strategy for 20 years since Ralph Nader, right? But not shame on the voters. The voters, listen, believe in us. Believe in our movement. That's what this is about.
Yeah. Josh, I really think that going forward, here's my thing with the Democratic Party. Let's say they lose. Let's say they win. Let's say they win in November. Republican Party is trash. It's just sort of smoldering ashes. you got the Bloombergs and the Colin Powells. What they could do is they could try to remake the Republicans. So the Republicans have been very much co-opted because the MAGA movement will continue.
Republicans at this point.
The MAGA movement is going to keep going. They come over to the Democratic side. And so I'm like, the money is on the side of moderate Dems. The money is on the side of Dems who will continue to take fossil fuel, pharma, whatever, any other money. I mean, less fossil fuel, more pharma money, to be honest. But I do see what my hope is. This is my hope, that people like AOC, people who like Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar, the Squad, and all the other progressives that have been elected, that we can keep on making gains and winning on those, making progress on those gains. Begin, as I think Zachary Fluke on YouTube was saying, ranked choice voting. Start implementing more ranked choice voting. Start implementing more of not a winner take all system, right? Like how do we get our hands around this undemocratic system and make it more democratic by creating some kind of parliamentary representative democracy, and then jump ship and start a new party. like then we go. Like once
is the whole thing. For sure.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I really appreciate, Josh, your anecdote about how Homeboy affected. Why can't I think Biden affected the fracking issue? Why did I call him Homeboy? Listen, I appreciate because listen. I think this is the difference. You guys hit the nail on the head on it. It's purity versus strategy sometimes, and I think we need to voting with our values means that we need to have a clear sense of what works, and what works is strategy and organizing. And I don't trust a party that doesn't build in between presidential elections, right? I don't trust that because that's called opportunism. And so for me, if people are building movements, it's usually outside of the party. Okay. And so You're right. We have to trust that we have the power to move whoever's in office. And 100%, if it's Trump, it's a non-starter. So that's why, I'm out here excited that The Rock endorsed Biden.
Yeah.
That's what I'm excited. The Rock looks like he is made up of, he's wearing balloon animals. That is what his muscles look like. He looks like he's wearing balloon animals. That's how powerful he looks.
His head gets smaller and smaller. Like his
Every
head
day
moves farther and farther into his neck.
I'm just happy he endorsed Biden. I think that's beautiful. He's like very apolitical, but it's like, let's just make this, he's so popular. I hope he moves people. I want Harry Styles. Okay. I don't care if you're not American. Endorse Biden. All right. This is where we're at.
Because we don't have like the Yes We Can video. We don't have all the superstar Bernie, the Bernie squad out there doing their thing, where's the glam? There's like no glam left. It's like people are exasperated. They don't even have a glam impulse. The Rock is what we've got.
Look at this pink eyeshadow. If The Rock had this pink eyeshadow.
Yeah. Okay. Present company
excluded. I think that's all a little bit bullshit. I think the glam is a little bit bullshit, to be honest with you. But I do think
you don't like Scarlett Johansson singing in black and white.
Oh no! Oh my God!
All right. I'm sorry.
But I will say this. I think that people are overworked, underpaid, stressed out, depressed, anxious right now. All people,
yes.
And that having the words low information voter, it's not a dig. You're a low information voter because the system doesn't want you to understand it, because the political system's bullshit and it doesn't represent you. So if The Rock gets you to vote, so be it. That's dope. Yeah, like to me, I'm like, that's fine, because I think people are like, well, I'm criticizing my own criticism, which is like, I know it's not about who Jay-Z and Beyonce like stump for. Obviously, Hillary didn't win. They stumped for her. Like they came out for her. But like, if you don't have that much time to read up on the issues, you don't really know what's up. Now, look, after 4 years, that's only someone who's been in a coma, and like, hats off. We blame you. Mm-hmm. But, sometimes having that celebrity endorsement does help. It helps.
I'm thinking of having will.i.am write something called like Yes We Bland or something. Jump in mind. Yes, we sort of maybe could almost.
Voting for a toast that's not even buttered. I know. I feel like the toast isn't even buttered.
Maybe the toast is done.
Buttered toast. It's not even sourdough. Ooh, sourdough toast. Buttered,
Flavor.
Avocado toast.
Oh, it's not even avocado. Is Kamala the avocado on top? Maybe Kamala's the avocado.
I really wish I saw more of Kamala Harris right now. I'm not seeing enough of Kamala Harris. I think Kamala Harris's takedown of Joe Biden over busing was amazing. So I'm waiting for them to sort of unleash Kamala Harris on Donald Trump or on Mike Pence.
Yo, I think at the debate, if he starts to flail, he just gotta like tap out, you know, and then Harris just comes in.
Amazing.
All I see is like Kamala Harris's shoes. Like was she wearing Tim's or was she wearing?
Oh yeah, Tim's. The Tim's.
What's going on here? Like it was like a I don't know what it's like the most important political season in history, and neither candidate talks about policies at all.
Yeah,
very confusing.
I will say this though, it is one thing that was really hard for me to watch was to watch. I thought Hillary Clinton did great in a vacuum where she didn't have to go up against Donald Trump. Like Hillary Clinton was like, oh yeah, presidential. Okay, no, you know your stuff, blah, blah, blah. I'm talking obviously pure bullshit, like level debate politics here. The fact that you had Trump next to her, I thought she really did like, you know, bring a wet noodle to a knife fight. She did not do a good job getting on Trump's level, getting under his skin. Right. And I'm like, we've never had a chance in, you know, any journalist, Jim Acosta, you know, anyone who's going up against, you know, Yamiche Alcindor, who's great. Like just all the White House press corps have been the only ones who've been able to actually go up against Trump, right? The only ones who've been able to stick it to him. But even they don't count. This is our chance. This is our like, motherfucker, I'm gonna, you know, our like, God damn it, what did you do? And we've got toast.
I really hope Joe Biden just says like, hey, how about why didn't you pay taxes for 15 years?
$750.
Oh my God.
15 years you didn't pay taxes. Like what is that about? I think he should just say that like 50 times.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I don't know.
If he only said that.
There's like a whole psychology to debating that I don't understand at all, because I'm like a cutthroat New York Jew Italian who wants to like throw Chinese stars at every possible moment in the political sense. It's just like, you know what I mean? And I know that like middle America would be like, whoa, get that guy out of here. So like when Obama was like being super mild mannered, you saw that like little like CNN like trend line. Remember they would like those people in the focus group, they would like squeeze this knob, and if they liked what he was saying, the trend line would go up, and if they didn't like anything, the trend line would go up. Anytime Obama started to get a little bit feisty, I would be like, yeah, get him. The trend line would start going down. It's like
they were like, a black man raised his voice a few decibels.
Right. We gotta raise his voice.
Do not like.
If people do not raise their voice, I get nervous.
Agreeing.
What do you mean, Josh? What do you mean?
I don't. Jenny.
All right.
Wait, I'm a Chinese star, and that's not how you throw us.
I'm sorry.
Just FYI, technique-wise. I just want to make sure you know.
How do you do it then?
It's like a frisbee.
It's been a long time since 8th grade.
I'm a half Chinese star. When you throw me, I just sort of fall to the ground.
Oh.
Weepoo. That's okay. And then my Italian side is like, what are you doing? Okay.
Is it wrong to say Chinese stars? I'm sorry.
No.
Okay, good.
It's a perfect setup for my joke, so thank you.
Yeah, you set Jenny up. She knocked it down.
You know.
That's how it goes.
I'm glad.
Don't get all liberal guild on me, okay?
Yeah.
You're fine. You're fine.
It's hot out here.
We won't cancel you yet.
We're not canceling you.
You should see the crap that I have on my desk here in Pennsylvania. It's like ridiculous.
Nothing but Chinese stars, man.
All nothing but Asian shit.
A pair of tin snips. You know, we got the battery for the.
Great.
Josh, now for the future.
Josh, I don't know what you're trying to prove. Show and tell is fun.
Yeah. Josh is just showing Jenny and I things on his desk.
Can I plug my book? The Truth is Strange.
No, he's just nervously changing and promoting his stuff. All right.
I am.
All right. I am going to promote. God damn it! Nothing is within reach. But
me neither.
Hell yeah. Guys, let's move to our final segment. This has been good. We've traversed the political hellscape from left to right here. I think it's been good. I hope we've walked away with just a few solid takeaways, but it's okay because I like you guys. We just sort of slalom through this brimstone and fire, and we're at our final segment because
inspiring image.
Yeah, slaloming through the brimstone and fire. Because of course of Judge ACAB being nominated to be a Supreme Court justice and most likely confirmed because Dems will not lock themselves to Mitch McConnell like I would like them to. This is our imagination of who would be a better judge in a game called Judge Dredd. Judge Dredd was actually a movie, Dredd, with Sylvester Stallone. Was it good? He was a cop.
I don't know.
So probably not, because we're very much an ACAB show. So
I watched a lot of Law and Order, though. I'll have to admit, just so you know,
they're not all bad there, right?
Yeah,
they have their moments.
Yeah.
Who's the God? I can't get into a crime show that isn't The Wire, which is not really a crime show. I guess it is. I don't know.
I liked it.
It was so good. I rewatched it in quarantine. I've rewatched so much stuff. Okay, Judge Dredd. If you could pick a different judge, but they have to be a cartoon or fictitious villain to replace Amy Coney Barrett, who would it be?
Villain.
It could be any cartoon, really. Actually, it could be a positive thing. Guys, weigh in on the comments. Hopefully, I'll read some of them out.
I have so many ideas here.
Go ahead, Josh.
Well, before you said it had to be a cartoon villain, I really was going to say just it has to be Chuck D and Flavor Flav on the Supreme Court because
that's easily better
together.
Easily.
And Chuck D kind of the supreme the what is it, the Chief Justice, and Flavor Flav sort of next to him. Every time Chuck D is like, you're racist and go to hell, and Flavor Flav just goes like, yeah, boy. That was what I did on the Supreme Court.
Delightful.
My other thought was Space Ghost. Just Space Ghost.
Space Ghost.
When you said cartoons, I thought Space Ghost. But the Space Ghost from Space Ghost Coast to Coast. Not the actual Space Ghost.
This is a deep cut. I am not familiar with this.
If you don't know what Space Ghost Coast to Coast is, it was a talk show hosted by a cartoon, Space Ghost. Now, Space Ghost was a very 70s or I think early 80s cartoon character who was very square, and he had muscles. He looked like The Rock, and he was a ghost. He was sort of a space ghost. Nobody knows what he was, and he would battle a guy named Voltar a lot. And Voltar was the sort of Paul Schaefer in the corner playing the keyboard. And Space Ghost would actually interview people on this show, and he interviewed Bobcat Goldthwait, which was one of the best.
Oh, nice!
And he interviewed some Joey Ramone, actually, I think. So Jeff, definitely check out Space Ghost Coast to Coast. It's a very obscure
Space Ghost. How would he rule, you think, as a judge?
He would just zap people with his thing on his thing, and he would flex his muscles a lot.
Oh, very hot. He's kind of like The Rock. I feel like The Rock modeled his MO after Space Ghost.
There he is. Yeah, there he is. Space Ghost.
Just pretty cute.
But I still think if it wasn't the cartoon villain, I would go with it. I would
Space
just
Ghost.
love to see Chuck D. I just
seems
love
very fair.
I would just love to see them, the entire Public Enemy, take over all. If we get 7 more seats on the Supreme Court, just put them on. That's what I would see.
I love it.
With PE or Zach De La Roca and Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine.
Okay, so you're going in tandem.
I'm going all in hip hop.
I like it.
Militant hip hop on the Supreme Court.
Jenny, what about you? Instead of ACB, who is it going to be?
I think even the Wicked Witch of the West, from The Wizard of Oz, would be better than Amy Coney Barrett.
Yeah.
Number one, she's got magic. All right. Who doesn't love a powerful bitch? Also, she controls animals and beasts. So I'm assuming she's going to be good on climate. You know what I mean? She's going to be good on the natural world. Finally, apparently she's actually very non-confrontational, and she truly just wants the love of her family and women. And so we could turn her around. And if all else fails, we could just throw some water on her. So I think the power is in the
There's
people.
always a fail-safe.
Fail-safe.
There's just throw that water. I love it. She's green. She's halfway, she's a third of the way to the Green New Deal.
She's a person of color. All right. Listen,
I was thinking Mojo Jojo. from
Who's
Powerpuff
that?
Girls.
Oh.
Josh, you already got yours.
Sorry.
And
He's
there were
like,
way
I got
too
more.
many of
Are we
them.
brainstorming?
But what's so
We're
crazy
going.
about what you just said, Jenny, is that these people, I get it now, I get the concept. These people are less extreme than Amy Coney Barrett.
Yes.
The Wicked
Look
Witch
at
of the
that.
West.
I
is
think he
less
just
extreme.
underlined the premise of this game.
I didn't understand it at the beginning.
I'm reading Homer Simpson. Great. The Judge from Pink Floyd's movie. Ooh,
Oh my
yeah.
God, Gargamel from the
Wall.
Smurfs.
Hmm.
Yes.
Gargamel is
Gargamel.
so cuddly compared to ACB. Let's see. Foghorn Leghorn. I'll say guilty. Beetlejuice first. Beetlejuice would be so fun on the Supreme Court. I mean, he's definitely anti-choice. I feel like Beetlejuice is a piece of shit, but
Maleficent is here too. I mean, I think
Beetlejuice is
any
anti-choice?
witch would be good.
I'm with the witches.
Cletus the Slack-jawed Yokel, totally.
Cletus
Just
from
gut.
Dukes of Hazzard? No.
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 Cletus from
No,
The
no.
Simpsons. All right, he's got lots of kids.
Oh, from The
He
Simpsons.
basically has more kids than Judge Amy
What about the
Barrett,
Scottish-
whatever the fuck.
What about the Scottish lawnsman from The Simpsons?
Hmm?
I
Oh,
love
he'd be
that guy.
great.
Right.
That guy was great.
Groundskeeper Willie, yeah, hell yeah.
Groundskeeper Willie. That's correct.
So for me, I'm thinking I would rather have the mother from Carrie. I'd rather have Carrie's mom, who is a religious zealot, than this woman. I'm saying, maybe because like she at least. I'm trying to think. She like what did she prayed, that was good, and maybe she'll be less look, first of all, Carrie's mom has few redeeming qualities, but I feel like she would still be better because she would not be I'm trying to make the case here.
For someone who would be better than any.
For someone who would be better.
The worst people in the world are better than Amy Coney
Yeah.
Barrett, is basically what you're saying. That's how bad this is.
Yeah, but I'm still
bad.
trying to find the redeeming qualities. I can't remember if there was a cuddly moment in Carrie. I don't think there was.
I did just tweet out yesterday. I understand that there are so many bad people in America to choose from, but how is it possible that they came up with the last two for the Supreme Court? That they like out of all these bad people, they picked people that are the worst.
I think it's the next hearing is just like, how many dipshits are left? You know, it's like that's what it is. We're just going through the scraping the barrel of dipshits.
I'm really, really happy that I'm thinking of cartoon villains right now because they're always defeated, which is so nice.
Exactly.
It's so nice to think about them going down in flames, like Zoltar.
Diane Feinstein, if you're listening,
Skeletor.
fucking throw down,
Skeletor
girl.
on the Supreme Court.
Oh, someone said Skeletor already. He would be great. I don't know. I feel like he's a big son.
I'm Skeletor.
Is that what he does? Does he have a high laugh like that?
Yeah, he does. He's got a very effeminate, weirdly kind of like high pitched. He's like a goblin.
Josh
Maybe
Fox,
I'm
Jenny
just
Yang, you guys have been great. Thank you so much for being here. Jenny, where can people catch you? Let us know.
Instagram or Twitter. I'm always on. Say hi to me there at Jenny Yang TV. And then go to comedycrossing.eventbrite.com. I put on 2 shows a month, a online stand-up comedy show where I have fun stand-up comedians perform through a cute Japanese avatar inside Animal Crossing.
Wow.
It's a video game stand-up comedy show. That's what's
Amazing.
happening in 2020.
It's like the most soothing, awesome thing ever.
Thank you.
And
This is next
so
level.
fucking creative. Jenny Yang, thank you so much.
I will have
being
Fran
here.
on at some point.
Please, I need to get a Switch.
Wow.
I think
We'll figure it out.
we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Buy me a Switch. Everyone, buy me a Switch. TBR-Live, TBR Live in Venmo. Obviously, we're donating to Movement Voter Project, but also buy me a Nintendo Switch. Josh Fox,
What is the Switch?
it's a Nintendo. Oh God,
Sorry.
the
I just
Space
spend
Ghost
time in the
would
woods all
know.
day.
The
I'm sorry.
Space Ghost would totally know. It's a gaming console.
Okay. I want one. I don't.
Yeah. Now they know what it is. I want it.
Now I know. Yeah, it's bullshit that I don't have one.
Josh Fox, where can we catch you?
Well, as you know, Francesca, because you're a frequent guest on my program, Staying Home with Josh Fox, which was originally coined Staying Home with Josh Fox because we wanted people to stay home during coronavirus, to stay safe and stay healthy during coronavirus. But we started the show 6 months ago, and it has been picked up by TYT, and we're about to have our 100th episode on TYT. So you can watch that on the Young Turks live on Facebook. You can watch it on my page, Gasland page, Josh Fox page, How to Let Go of the World and Level of Things Climate Can't Change page, or Wake, Dream from Standing Rock page, or you can watch it on Twitter. You can also watch it on Twitch, and I think you can watch it on like Roku and all the things. The Switch.
Watch it on all the things.
But Staying Home with Josh Fox, it's really fun. It's great. It's called Your Revolutionary Guide to the Green New Deal. So we have extraordinary people talking about the Green New Deal, but also talking about all the intersectional issues that go with the Green New Deal: justice, climate justice, anti-racism, feminism, all the things that have to intersect with our brave, or I shouldn't say brave new world, our green new world that's coming. And we change the fuck out of everything.
We're in
So there's that.
long-term labor.
I'm also making a new movie right now, so stay tuned. And
Awesome.
hoping to get a new climate series underway also. So lots to come. But yeah, do watch Staying Home with me. But it's not Staying Home anymore. We call it Don't Stay Home, Go Out and Vote, or Go Out and Protest.
Thank you, Josh. You couldn't have plugged yourself better than I could have. Watch Josh's movies too. If you guys haven't watched his films, I'm sorry, did I say movies? Documentary works of cine. They're very, 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 very good. Thank you all for being here. Thanks for making it to the end of this show. It is the end. I want to thank all of you. I want to thank our producer, Becca Roofer. I want to thank the tippers. Gotta be honest with you, and I'm not joking. The tip jar's low as fuck right now. It's pretty low. I guess you guys don't care about this pink eyeshadow or movement voter project. If you're listening in the future on the podcast, very, very smart, because there were a lot of hand gestures in this episode. I can't vouch for them all, but please tip us, TBR-Live on Venmo, TBR Live on Cash App, and thank you so much for being here. And remember, we're voting in November. We're doing it against fascism because John Lewis took a bat to the head for our right to vote. We got to do them right in November. Also, because the other option is saying things like this.
They were tough and they were strong. You have good genes, you know that, right? You have good genes. A lot of it's about the genes, isn't it? Don't you believe? The racehorse theory, you think we're so different? You have good genes in Minnesota.
He's a Nazi. Don't just bitch about it. Be about it, y'all. Make this call.